Senator Graham.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for having the hearing. Secretary Panetta, you will be missed. You've served our nation well. You will be missed. And General Dempsey, thank you for your service. Now, this is a hearing about Benghazi. We've talked about sequestration, which is important, and I just want to make sure that we understand what happened on September 11th regarding Benghazi. Your testimony, as I understand it, Secretary Panetta, that you talked to the President of the United States one time.
Talked to him on September 11th with regards to the fact that we were aware this attack was taking place.
One time?
Right.
What time did you tell him that?
I think that was approximately about 5.
Yeah, about 5.
About 5 o'clock.
General Dempsey, did you ever talk to the President of the United States at all?
I was with the Secretary at that same time.
Did you talk to the President?
Yes.
You talked to him how many times?
The same one time.
How long did the conversation last?
We were there in the office for probably 30 minutes.
So you talked to him for 30 minutes, one time, and you never talked to him again? Neither one of you?
Until afterwards.
Until after the attack was over?
That's right.
Thank you. Were there any AC-130 gunships within 1,000 miles of Benghazi, Libya?
No, sir.
Were there any AC-130 gunships within 2,000 miles of Benghazi, Libya?
I have to go back and look at a map and figure out the distance. The nearest ones I were aware of were
You said the F-16 was not a good platform to defend the consulate. What would have been the appropriate platform?
The appropriate platform, Senator, would have been to have boots on the ground ahead of the event. After the event is in conduct, it would be very difficult to have a military...
let's just, I mean, would an AC-130 been a good platform to help defend the consulate after the attack?
If we had the adequate understanding of what was on the ground so that we weren't killing innocent...
Is there a saying in the military, when you go into harm's way, we've got your back?
Of course, yes, sir.
Don't you think that saying has been undermined here, that how can people in the military, the Foreign Service, believe we've got their back when after over 7... One, did you know how long the attack was going to last, Secretary Panetta?
No idea.
Well, it could have lasted for 2 days. Now, my question is, was one airplane anywhere in the world deployed in the aid of the consulate? Did anybody launch an airplane? Was any airplane launched anywhere in the world to help these people?
Well, we ultimately did launch 130s to go in and rescue the people.
When were they launched?
I think they were launched in the period of time when the team went in there, and when we concluded, the attack was concluded, we said we've got to get the people out of there, and that's when we... Was
any airplane launched anywhere in the world before the attack was concluded?
If you're talking about a strike aircraft, no, Senator.
Okay. Was any soldier en route to help these people before the attack was concluded?
Well, we had deployed these fast teams, and they were on orders to move.
Was anybody in motion before the attack concluded to help these people? Anybody?
Only the personnel that were in Tripoli. Okay.
Was any DOD asset ever put in motion to help these people before the attack was over?
If I could, as soon as we knew there was an attack, the National Mission Force and the fast teams began preparing.
My question is, did anybody leave any base anywhere to go to the aid of the people under attack in Benghazi, Libya, before the attack ended?
No, because the attack ended before they could get off the ground.
Okay, and we didn't know how long it would last. Now, back to the threat assessment. In these 281 threats that we've received, can you go back and look and see if any of these threats have a cable from a U.S. ambassador saying, if we're attacked, the consulate is attacked in a coordinated fashion, we cannot defend the consulate, and oh, by the way, there are al-Qaeda flags flying over government buildings. Is there any other situation of these 281 that rise to that level? Because I want to know about it if there is.
The State Department would have the answer to that question.
Okay, let's talk about the State Department. General Dempsey, seems to me that General Ham kept you pretty well informed.
I agree with that.
I agree with that too. And did General Ham on that night ever suggest that a military asset, did he order a military asset in motion and someone told him to stand down?
No. In fact, he was with us in the Pentagon that day.
Okay, so he was with you. Now, you knew about the cable from Ambassador Stevens because General Ham informed you of it. Is that correct, General Dempsey?
In a written weekly report.
Okay. So when Secretary Clinton testified a few weeks ago that she had a clear-eyed assessment of the threat we faced in Libya, is that really a credible statement if she didn't know about the ambassador's cable on August the 15th saying we can't defend this place?
Well, I don't know that she didn't know about the cable.
She said she didn't.
Then that's a...
Are you stunned that she didn't?
I would call myself surprised that she didn't.
Okay. Are you surprised that the President of the United States never called you, Secretary Panetta, and say, how's it going?
You know, normally in these situations...
Did he know the level of threat?
Well, let me finish the answer. We were deploying the forces. He knew we were deploying the forces. He was being kept updated.
Well, I hate to interrupt you, but I got limited time. We didn't deploy any forces.
No,
did you call him back? Wait a minute.
The event was over by the time...
Mr. Secretary, you didn't know how long the attack would last. Did you ever call him and say, Mr. President, it looks like we don't have anything to get there anytime soon?
The event was over before
it
we
lasted
could move
almost
any assets.
8 hours, and my question to you is, during that 8-hour period, did the President show any curiosity about how's this going? What kind of assets do you have helping these people? Did he ever make that phone call?
Look, there is no question in my mind that the President of the United States was concerned about American lives.
Well, all due respect, I
frankly,
don't
all
believe
of us
that's
were
a
concerned
credible
about American
statement if he
lives.
never called and asked you, are we helping these people? What's happening to them?
As a former
we have
chief,
a second
as
around,
a former
and we'll
chief
take
of
it
staff
up
to
then.
the President of the United States, the purpose of staff is to be able to get that kind of information, and those staff were working with us.
So you think it's a typical response of the President of the United States to make one phone call, do what you can, and never call you back again and ask you, how's it going, by the way? Show any frustration? We don't have any assets in there to help these people for over 7 hours?
The President is well informed about what is going on. Make no mistake about it.
Well, that is interesting to hear. We'll talk about that in the second round.
This has been a Sunfish production.